Talk to me about your grandkids, your great-grandkids. If you had just an hour to spend with them, what would you give them in terms of setting them up the way that Mr. Washington set you up? What are those core principles that you think are most impactful? One, get to know yourself. I believe that's what we're taught when it says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. What does that mean? That sounds slick as hell, but I don't actually understand it. What it means is, don't live the life that has been given to you by the culture, by your parents, by their circumstances, or by the people around you. Sidney Poitier wrote a book called The Measure of a Man, and in it he said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. Either you adjust to their pace, or they adjust to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? There are things we pick up and we think they are choices, but they're really choices we've been programmed by life to make. When we leave our homes in the morning, we're bombarded with over 6,000 advertising hits through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, television, our phones, our communities, and computers. All these things are impacting us every day. So if you don't have a program for your mind, then your mind is going to be programmed by these forces. You'll find yourself doing things you didn't plan to do or even realize were affecting you. Through marketing techniques and strategies, they create a thirst within you. I grew up in an era where they said, if you build the best mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your door. But now, if you know marketing, people will sleep outside your store to buy a telephone they've never touched or seen. The marketing makes them say, I've got to have that. When they get it, it's a smartphone, but they're dummies because they don't know how to use it. That's me. I've got a smartphone, but all I can do is send text messages on it. Hey, that's already pretty good. All right, so we've got the grandkids in a room. We tell them, don't be programmed by the culture. You've got to figure out who you are. You've got to get to know yourself. Spend time reading. Reading is very important. Give me some powerful books. One of the books I enjoy is by my mentor, Mike Williams. He saw this Les Brown before I saw him. I was a disc jockey at Woofco radio station in Columbus, Ohio. He said, hey, Brownie. I said, yes. He said, do you know why you go see Robert Schuller, Tony Robbins, and Zig Ziglar? I said, because I like their message. He said, no, that's who you are, man. You can do that. You know why Bert Charles gives you so much hell here? I said, well, he just doesn't like me. No, it's because you've outgrown this place. There's something else for you to do. You can do what those guys do. But at that time, I was suffering from possibility blindness. I couldn't see it. I had this conversation in my head about being labeled educable, mentally retarded, and failing twice in school. But over the years, experiences began to peel away those layers. You don't wax the floor without stripping it first. Over the years, seminars, workshops, examples, and people like you helped peel away those layers. They penetrated and connected with the part of me that said, I can do this. I can do more. I deserve more. I would teach my kids that they have to transform their mindsets, continuously upgrade your relationships. My youngest son, John Leslie, posed a question. He said, when you have goals and dreams you want to achieve, ask yourself, who should I count on and who should I count out? Many people never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, and energy-draining people in their lives. You have to set goals outside of your comfort zone that will challenge you. To do something you've never done, you have to become someone you've never been. You need a mentor, someone experienced, someone who's been there and done that. A mentor sees something in you that you can't see in yourself. Muhammad Ali said, I'm the greatest, but he never won a championship without Angelo Dundee. Michael Jordan never won a championship without Phil Jackson. You need someone who can take you to a place within yourself that you can't go by yourself. I would teach them the value of having a life coach, and that life is an adventure. It's going to challenge you. Get ready, because you're going to fail your way to success. Life will slap you around. Don't spend time complaining about it. Don't tell everyone, because 80% don't care and 20% are glad it's you. Let me close the loop on books. Give me 2 or 3 books you think everybody should read. The Road to Your Best Stuff by Mike Williams. I wrote the foreword to that. Live Your Dreams by me. It's a very good one. Another one is a little-known book by Robert Collier called The Secret of the Ages. That book really inspired me. Mr. Washington gave it to me. What's The Secret of the Ages about? It's about recognizing that you have the power to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Don't underestimate yourself. You don't know enough about yourself to be a cynic. Challenge yourself to access the power within you. You're more than you think you are. Another small book one love is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. I don't care how many times I read it, I always get something valuable from it. There's also a female version, As a Woman Thinketh. What is it about As a Man Thinketh? I tried reading it, but I couldn't get into it. Yet so many people I respect say it's powerful. What am I missing? James Allen died in prison, and despite everything he went through, he didn't become bitter. He was a man ahead of his time. His experiences in philosophy put him at odds with the world. But instead of becoming bitter, he became better. He produced even more profound work while incarcerated. We've all heard the saying, things in life will make you bitter or better. He chose better. His focus was on not just changing your mind, but having a program to maintain your mindset. Negative thoughts are like weeds. You can't kill them, but you can keep them in check. The moment you stop doing the things that hold them down, they come back with a vengeance. If I said to you, Tom, you can't do this show. You just don't have what it takes. You have a face that only a mother could love. Tom, you can't do this. Then IT did this study and somebody else has to come along and say, Tom, don't pay any attention to that. You can do it, Tom, you can do it. Don't listen to him, you can do this. Listen to me, Linda, you can do this. It takes 17 times to neutralize that one negative message. So when we think about him and his work, and he did a lot of profound work, it's focused on how to begin getting under those conscious thoughts and impacting the subconscious mind, creating an ongoing process of renewing how we see ourselves. Yeah, I want to talk about that process because I think it's really powerful. It's a great analogy. The negative voices are like weeds. They're going to keep coming back. The moment you stop tending the garden, you're going to be in trouble again. What does your process of tending the garden look like? What do you do on a daily basis to keep it clean? We've developed a program called 4 Steps to Greatness, and it's a cyclic process. The first step is self-awareness. Every day when I get up, I get up and there's a scripture I love. All things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. I meditate on that and I visualize myself doing good things in the world. The second step is self-approval. You have to have a program that increases your sense of self. This includes reading, doing good work, volunteering, and constantly looking for ways to improve all dimensions of your life, being a better father, a better husband or wife, or just a better person. We want a holistic approach to life because if your achievements outgrow your sense of self, you will unconsciously engage in self-destructive behavior. And we're witnessing that now on a national level. You're touching on something that I find may be most distressing in life. I'm starting the Les Brown Leadership Entrepreneurial Institute, teaching our young people how to go into business for themselves, how to become entrepreneurs. I'm giving them a larger vision of themselves, letting them know that you don't live life as it is. You live life as you are. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It's about transforming their mindset and teaching them the skill set required in this new economy of accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. I'm letting them know this is a time when you have to learn, unlearn, and relearn. You must unlearn the way you've been operating, thinking, and behaving, and you must relearn, because things are constantly changing. My vision has been to do this, and I've done it in Washington, D.C., and Chicago, training kids, their parents, and their relatives together. I'm preparing for 2022. If you believe as I believe, what you're about to see is something that has value. I want to see some fire. You know, as I was watching, they used a law originally designed to investigate the mafia to investigate me. They said I had sloppy bookkeeping because the city gave me $100,000 to train youth, and I spent $125,000. I spent $25,000 of my own money. They asked me, where'd you get it from? None of your business, it's my money. I chose not to turn any kids away and use my own funds. I put my money where my mouth was. But they used the mafia law. Now, is there anything harmful in empowering our youth that would require using that law? The law, I think it's called the RICO Act, or something says they can investigate someone just to see if they've done anything wrong. They asked my hero, Janine, what has he done wrong? She said, oh, nothing, but we're just investigating him. Well, what was wrong in their view? When you're empowering our youth, as long as they're using filthy language, shaking their behinds and acting ignorant, it's okay. That's not a threat to society. But when they have goals, dreams, visions for themselves, and they're articulate and can express themselves, that's a threat. The person empowering them becomes a threat. But I thank them for it. If they hadn't done that, I wouldn't have left Miami and become the person I am today. They meant it for evil. God meant it for good. Look at him, won't he do it? Yes, he will. I'm back. And I'm so glad I was born and preserved for such a time as this. Our children need help. If you agree with me, I want to see some flames. If you've seen the booty-shaking videos on these platforms and heard the indecent, filthy language that has now become the new normal, you know what I'm talking about. People can't say 2 or 3 words without cursing. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. If you believe, as I do, that we need to create a movement to capture our kids' minds away from the negative images they see on these platforms, then let's take action. There are algorithms in China that train their kids to become entrepreneurs, critical thinkers, and future leaders. But the algorithms in the US, totally opposite. They corrupt our youth's thinking, blur their vision, and strip them of purpose and direction. But here's the good news. There's no algorithm between you and me. If you believe as I do, I want to see some flames. What you just saw and heard has value. It can make a difference in our kids' lives. I see them, and they said, you changed my life. To God be the glory. Do I have any flames coming up, Calvin? No, I'm talking about on your phone. You're not even looking. Excuse me, he's not even paying any attention to where I am. I've got to get somebody with me that can help me. If you, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's all right. I've got to get somebody that's going to be focused on my stuff. All right? He's focusing on his stuff, and he should. He should. I don't need that now. I asked you a question, and you're someplace else. Your mind is someplace else, and you should be taking care of your business. Here's the thing. If you believe as I believe, if you believe that we need to be on point, mean business, and focus on developing our children, helping them reinvent themselves and see a larger vision of who they are beyond the current culture that is designed to deny, demonize, and destroy them, then I want to see some thumbs up or flames up in here. Up in here. From November 11th through the 13th, I'm going to be teaching and sharing with people some of the strategies we use in the L Round Leadership and Entrepreneurial Institute, sponsored by the Greatness Center. We will not have any government funding. For those of you who believe in what I'm doing, I'm open to your help. I want parents to come with their children and be involved because we have to change entire households, parents and kids alike. I've had parents in training and they loved it. Right before we came on today, I was talking to you. Do you want to tell them the story about the 99-cent store, the dollar store in Walmart? First of all, he's still in diapers. I'm 72, all right. I serve the Lord's Supper, so let's get that straight. I'm old. He was 15 when I was being born, all right? Yes. And I believe you're never too old to learn and never too young to teach. That's why I admire you, and that's why I have no qualms about asking you to mentor me in this next chapter of my life. I'm not through yet. There's much more for me to do. I was talking to you about your model, going from competing with the dollar store to building a business worth thousands of dollars. That is brilliant. One of the things Alvin Toffler talked about in Future Shock is how transitioning from a domestic economy to a global and educational economy forces change. It will be a time when people must think creatively and find ways to do what they do more effectively, do more, do it faster, and with fewer resources and manpower. You've mastered that, and you're teaching others how to do it. We learn, we earn, and we pass it on. That's what I admire about you. You're passing it on. It's not just about you. You're building a legacy and empowering people who will go into a future neither of us will see. They'll take it to the next level. And that's exciting. How many speaking gigs have you done around the world? Any idea how many stages you've been on? Les, the legend Les Brown, is in the studio. I've spoken to as many as 80,000 people. If people go online and put in Les Brown speaking at the Georgia Dome, they'll see the speech titled, "It's Not Over Until You Win." Dexter Yeager put that event together, the largest gathering of entrepreneurs with over 80,000 people. Last year, I spoke in Poland to over 25,000 people. That was a powerful gathering, but I've spoken in so many places. How many times have you been in Miami? 4 times in your entire career? In my entire career, only 4 times. Born in Liberty City, an abandoned building with a twin brother, we were adopted. I'm a twin. No, you're not. Yes, man, we're fraternal twins. He looks like my son because I use mascara to cover my gray no shame. I put it on stage. All right. Yes, Wesley and I were adopted by Mrs. Mamie Brown. She had a third-grade education and worked on Miami Beach for wealthy families. My dream, as we were coming up, was to buy her a home. That's what drove me. One of the families she worked for, Mrs. Secchi, used to listen to Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret and Bill Bailey and Glenn Turner. Those were the early stages of cultivating my mind and thoughts. The Strangest Secret was the first motivational message I heard. It sold over 1 million copies. Nightingale was an insurance executive who created these motivational messages for his agents, and their performance skyrocketed. He had an incredible voice, and I loved his content. Later, I encountered Jim Rohn. He worked for Bill Bailey, who had a company called Best Line Products. I heard Jim speak, and I was fascinated. Bill Bailey from Louisville, Kentucky. And those speakers, they spoke into my life. I always tell the speakers I train that when we speak, we create an experience. How people live their lives as a result of the story they believe about themselves. When we speak, we distract, dispute, and inspire. We distract them from their story with our story, dismantle their belief system, and inspire them to write a new chapter in their lives. As Mother Teresa said, we become a pencil in the hand of God. Many speakers fail because they think information is key. I can tell you, if information could change people, everyone would be skinny, rich, and happy. Yeah, that's right. You hear what he's saying, okay? He's talking about the dismantling of the old story, the story that you're telling the world. Okay, yes, and some people have the magical, miraculous ability to do that. This man right here has it. You have it too. Thank you. I've been watching you. I said, you can't sneak up on the old man. I said, look at him. You think you're going to ambush me? No way. Me and Les Brown are going to be working together March 17th, 18th, and 19th here in Miami. He's only spoken here 4 times in the world. You've probably been to Europe more than 4 of them. Oh my goodness, yes, I've spoken in Poland, in Johannesburg, South Africa, in Australia, in London, England, in Hong Kong. I've spoken all over the world. And you know, Les, you're 72. I'm 58 years old. Now you have 10 kids. Yes, 5 boys and 5 girls. Trying to tell me you've got to pick up the pace. Yes, you know, there's a little saying. He said, be fruitful and multiply. I took him seriously. Yeah, you did, man. He's 10x, this dude is. That's what I'm talking about. You can feel it, brother, can't you? I can. And so, look, you and I'm sure you do, and I'm a parent, so I talk about this. I know I'm at the, closer to the end of my career than the beginning of it. I don't think so. No. Because part of delivering this message when you're in alignment with your purpose, I believe that gives you more time. The universe, just look at me. I'm 72, but I don't look it. I don't have 72-year-old energy. And there's a difference between that physiological age and that spiritual age. And I think when you're in alignment and doing what you're supposed to do, that pleases God. Yeah. That it keeps you young. You have the energy of a 20-year-old, and so that allows you to be, but there's going to be a time when you and I are not living in these bodies or on a stage, without any question. And I'm not looking forward to that. Les Brown, stay with me. We'll be right back for Power Players. Welcome back to Power Players. Grant Cardone here with the legendary Les Brown. We were talking on break. He promised a breakthrough in March. What question do that? Because of the fact that what we do, we have the ability, and we've developed it over a period of time. And I don't know exactly when it happens where you can speak to a crowd of people and you're speaking to them as a group, but also individually. They come away as a result and we're speaking into them. And as we weave a story with our experiences, because of who we are behind the words that we speak, because of what we've gone through, a person who hasn't gone through anything, it's hard for them to reach somebody's heart because they've never been there. Sometimes God has to break a life before he can use a life. And so you and I, 2 individuals, come on down. Yeah, we've been broken. Yeah, and so he put us back together. And as a result of that, we can be used. But we couldn't be used before. And so, to me, to be able to be a channel to help people discover a part of themselves that they could never discover by themselves, that's what you do. That's what we do. And that's why people listen to us and come to us. So why do so many people want to be public speakers but are also fearful of it? And how can you help that person? Oh, that one. Well, the training that I do, they speak immediately. That's the quickest thing to do. They speak immediately. You have to set them up so they don't have time to think. And so in the training, they speak immediately. And they love it because I believe we're supposed to be doing this. I had a lady fly from Australia recently to be trained by me. And then she emailed me and said cost is not an issue. And so I asked her the second day, and I only train with people that I feel a close connection with, one-on-one, and I said, why did you want to come to me? She said, I saw American television, and it talked about this young white boy that went into a black church and killed 9 people. And she said, I said to myself, what if I had gotten in his ear? She said, nothing enters except through the eyes or the ears. And she said, and this gave me goose pimples, she said, you speak from your heart, and I want to learn how to do that. Because I believe the world is the way that it is, not because a few people are violent. She said, the world is the way that it is because too many people are silent. Yes. And I said, who? And I decided that's awesome. That my goal is to help people outside of politics and outside of religion, which polarizes people, have a voice. Yeah. You know, politicians say, do as I tell you to do, and I'll give you a piece of American pie. Ministers say, do as I tell you to do, and I can teach you how to live after you die. And our goal is teaching people how to live right here, right now. Because the difference ultimately between what we do and what ministers do, they preach the gospel about Jesus. We preach the gospel that Jesus preached. They sell the messenger, and we sell the message. And so as a result, we can empower people to take charge of their lives and begin to create a new story, to write new chapters with their lives. So like, let's talk about the lady from Australia that says, it's not because of the violence, but because of the silence. Yeah. I think most businesses fail. Most brands never make it. Most people never reach their greatness because they don't know how to tell their story. Yes, that's major. What will you be sharing with the audience? Because look, man, well, let me share with you why the story is important. Yes. Why the story is important is because when you speak, if you're selling, yeah, you're an entrepreneur, you've got a product, you have an expertise. Knowledge is the new currency. People are asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have, and why should I care? And so if you don't answer that, because we know people do business with who? What? Who are you? Yeah, what do you have, and why should I care? People do business with people they know, like, and trust. And when you can answer that, now you're building a rapport and a connection that creates the possibility where you can do business together and help each other go to that next level. Yeah, guys, spoken all over the world, Emmy Award winner for fundraising for public broadcasting. Yes, Fortune 500 CEOs all over the world, small business owners, nonprofit community leaders. You've made it. You've truly been an inspiration to me because you sit out in front of me and show me what is possible. Yes, you've really been an inspiration to me, and I know millions and millions of others. I look for you've done the same for me, and you play it down. You're so humble. No, I'm not humble. I'm not a humble man. You're just humble, bro. You're just humble, bro. But I ain't going for it. I am not a humble man. He's going to speak on Saturday, right? Saturday. Yes, Saturday. And you know this, you got to come in the night before, man. I will come in the night before because I live here now. Okay, good. So we're going to have a yacht party. Can you swim? Yes, you can't be in Miami and not swim. Dude, I've met so many people here that can't swim. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing on planet Earth? There's 70% water and you can't swim. They won't be around too long. Yes, Les Brown, folks, a legend. Okay, if you don't have his book, Laws of Success, go get that book today on Amazon. Yes, you can get it anywhere, right? You can get it on Amazon primarily, but the other thing I'm interested in is people checking out the Les Brown Institute, because I think it's my mission to train these new voices of hope. When there's hope in the future, that gives you power in the present. And we live in the greatest country in the world. There's something wrong when people try and outswim sharks to get here, or outrun a Jeep barefooted to get here, come to the country, and the suicide rate in America is higher than the number of people killed last year in car accidents. Something is wrong with that. That's crazy. And we are voices of hope. When there's hope in the future, that gives you power in the present. And that's what my goal and mission are. I feel that God has given me the Les Brown Institute to train people how to tell their story and transform the lives of others. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, he's going to stick to that because that's what he's been doing for 40 years, okay? And he's going to stick to it. If you're committed to your health, to your well-being, to your wealth, to your future, your family, the love, whatever you believe in, we want to help you. March 17th, 18th, and 19th in Miami. Now look, if you can't get here, I'm going to stream it to them. Yes, we got people who called me the other day and said, hey, look, I bought 10 tickets. I can't get down there because of this. Yes, we're going to stream it to those people. Okay? I know you've got a bunch of your folks coming without any question. And all my children will be there too, so that's going to have the place half full. And you're going to be there half full. Okay? I'm telling you, this is going to be the best. He talked about that Georgia conference. Yeah, Georgia Dome. I was speaking to 80,000 people, and they can see it on YouTube now. What if there were only 2,000 people in the room? 80,000. It doesn't matter. But don't you think those 2,000 would get more out of it? Because I'm going to get the butter from the duck. Trust me on that, the butter from the duck. You want to talk about the pepper and the fork? Yes, I've been eating hot peppers with a fork right before this event because I'm going to be fired up and hungry. I guarantee he will do the single best presentation of his entire career because the bar has been raised, folks. Look at the people here, okay? Jay Abraham, you know Jay, absolutely. What do you say about Jay? Jay is very knowledgeable and he's very, yes, he's big on words, but there's a market there. Every audience, the audience is inside of the audience. Yes, I know C.H. Kevin. He's good, almost $1 billion on infomercials. You know Tim Story, who worked with Oprah? Yeah, Tim's good. Tim Grover, who worked with Kobe and Michael Jordan? Yes, Michael Jordan, the basketball player. Absolutely. Okay, you play basketball? Yes, and I got a good hook. Come on, man, come on, man. I think he's exaggerating. Ask Michael about me. We were born on the same date, he and Jim Brown, February 17th. Absolutely. I don't know, man. I think we're beyond public speaking now. Do you know this dude, Andy Frisella? Yes, but not personally. $100 million earner. $100 million a year. Rodi Chong, I'm bringing in a violinist. You don't know this dude. He's a little Asian guy, makes about $3 million a year. He's very expressive. Bobby Castro, you don't know Bobby? No, I don't know Bobby, a white dude, man. Yes, right here in Miami. Right here in Miami. $600 million valuation. Actually, Bankers Healthcare, I think, spoke over there. Okay, Jack and Telly, no. $1.5 billion businessman. What a powerful lineup you have. You know, per year, he bangs out $1 billion. There's a $1 billion list. But look, it wasn't going to be complete without my man, Mr. 10X, the original 10X, because he had 10 kids, buddy. I love you, man. I knew it the first time I talked to you. I knew it the first time I read one of your books. Folks, go get the book today, Laws of Success.